people. Bristol, give me a cheer if you've got kids.
Yay!
That's the sound of collective despair and regret. I've got 2 boys and they'll fight over everything. Who sits in the front seat, who plays PlayStation first, who makes me wish I'd had a vasectomy. And it's true what they say, isn't it? You can't pick your favourite child. It's like trying to pick a favourite injury. If one was a scraped knee, the other one's an amputated left arm. You can't pick a favourite. It's the oldest. I'm kidding, I can't stand either of them. No, my boys are great, at least compared to other people's kids, because they're all pricks, and for some reason, they all want to be at my house. I have to cook for and clean up after a bunch of consistently annoying short people, and most of the time it feels like I've been cursed. It's like Snow White and the 7 Dickheads. There was one in my garden the other day, and he really is a complete country boy. He loves animals and being outside, and he comes running up to the house from the garden, and he goes, "Can we have a bottle so we can catch tadpoles?" Now, I don't trust this little shit at all. So I'm like, no. But before I can even get the word out, he snatches a bottle and legs it back into the garden. So I look out the back door, and this kid and my kid are crouching on the edge of my pot and gently catching tadpoles in their bottle. That's nice. So I turn to walk away, and I hear, "Would a bottle make a good rugby ball?" He didn't even put the fucking lid on. But that wasn't enough for him, so he went back to catch some more. But before he could cause another tadpolocaust, my wife jumps in to save the day. She's much better at dealing with this nonsense than I am. She's got patience and tolerance, and I have none of that. So she just takes the bottle, which is now refilled with tadpoles, puts the lid on and sticks it in the kitchen. But Tadpole Bundy isn't even the worst one. You know those kids who are so mental you can't help but wonder if maybe they've just done a line of coke? One of those came for a sleepover the very next day, and he really is a complete contrast to the other one. This kid just wants to be inside and stare at a screen in between bouts of jumping off the walls, and it's exhausting. And just after I've gone to bed, he comes bursting in through my bedroom door, slams his foot on my bed, and he goes, "I've cut my toe, look!" Now, I can't stand feet, blood, or children, so the whole thing's awful, and I don't know what to do. So I decide to just shout at him to get his foot off the bed, and then he starts crying. I look at my wife for some kind of backup, but she's power sleeping through the whole thing. And now this kid's going on at me about wanting to call his mum, and I'm not about to phone her at midnight and tell her that her sons won't stop bleeding or crying. So I do the obvious grown-up thing. I push him out of my bedroom, tell him it'll be fine, shut the door and go back to bed. And then a little bit later on, I'm sound asleep, and something makes me stir. Now I think I'm dreaming because I hear someone going, "Ben! Ben!" And I open my eyes, and I see this kid, who I can now only assume has done a line of coke, and he's perching on the edge of my bed. And he goes, "I need a drink." Somehow, I stay calm enough to tell this consistently annoying child to go downstairs and get one. And as he's storming out, he stops and he goes, "I only like bathroom water because I spend more time in bathrooms." Well, I wonder why that is. My wife's still asleep, only now she's snoring as well, and I think I can go back to sleep. And a couple of minutes later, he comes back in again and looks at me like I'm an asshole. And he goes, "You don't keep any cups in your bathroom, but I found this in the kitchen." And I look over and he's drinking out of a bottle of water. Now, it's important to note here that I am a bit of a dickhead. And as soon as I saw that bottle, I knew he was drinking the tadpoles. And my first thought was, fuck him. Once he's finished necking the entire thing, he starts choking. And I don't think I've ever been more excited in my life. And that's the exact moment that my wife decides to finally wake up. She notices the blood on the bed, the gagging child, and my enormous smile. And I would love to know what she thought in that exact moment. Once she's calmed him down and ushered him back to bed, she comes back in, and she looks at me with nothing but love in her eyes, and she says, "That kid's a real cunt." Thank you, Bristol.